Hey Sherry, how are you today?
Good. I'm trying to sit outside, seeing if this is going to work or not.
Good for you. It looks nice.
Yeah,
Hey
that's
Sherry, how are you today?
our pumpkin patch.
Yeah, sorry, my thing is duplicated. We stream it onto YouTube and it's a few seconds behind. So sorry about that. Okay, hopefully I've got my act together here. We'll see, I guess. Looks like a lot of people having fun behind the tractor.
That's on our when we have our pumpkin patch.
Oh, okay. Is that in the fall, obviously, in
Yeah.
October?
hmm
Yeah.
Well, it was October this year. We only did 4 weeks. We normally do like 6 weeks, but this year was, or last year was 4 weeks.
Yeah. Did you, as a farm, have you guys sold to restaurants at all, or is that not a main thing that you do?
But restaurants aren't real reliable. You can't always, of course, when we're on a farm, we only have it at certain times, and
Right.
inevitably they want it when we don't have it.
Yeah.
So, we had some, but they ended up closing up because of COVID. They just couldn't hang on. It was one that's been there for 30 years, and they
Wow.
finally said, "Forget it. We're just gonna." And they were a big asparagus because they were more of a fine dining. They bought our asparagus, tomatoes, some lettuces and stuff like that.
What was the name of that restaurant?
The Bistro by the Sea.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that. Is that in Morehead City?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have heard of that. Yeah. And
Yeah,
they're completely out of business now?
they moved to Arizona.
Wow. Were they young people or had older?
They were 50s and 60s, I'd say.
So they were probably ready to try something new.
Yeah, I think they were tired of trying to make it work.
Yeah, well, that's too bad. Okay, middle.
Venice,
Hey,
hello,
hello.
everybody. I've got like, I don't know how owner is it by my name instead of my name there. Oh, you can't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Now I can't. You
All
turned
right.
it. Now I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, owner, how do you get my name there? Karen.
That's a good Brady question.
Okay. Where's Brady when we need him?
He'll
It
be,
doesn't matter. I was
yeah,
wondering.
it'll be on here and we'll,
Yeah,
I'm sure it's minor,
no problem.
but it's beyond my pay grade, I must admit. Sorry.
I think I happened the first time I came on. I was a bunch of numbers, and then I figured that
Were you?
when you first log in, I think it'll ask you your name or something,
Yeah,
and from then mine just comes up.
yeah.
So I'm
It
not
did.
sure.
It
Well,
did
and
it yesterday, but
there's always Google. How do I change my name on Zoom? You just put that in Google and it'll probably walk right through it. Hey, Wayne Boswell, how are you?
Hey, Wayne.
Oh, there we go. Hey, how's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Thanks.
Good.
Did you get up with Andy Kurtz by any chance?
No, I have not yet.
Okay.
I know you sent the email over to him. I kind of thought he would reach out to me, but I haven't heard from him, so I'm gonna reach out to him.
Yeah, that's a good idea. He's kind of a one-arm paper hanger, really busy.
Yeah.
He's a good friend. He's going to speak to our class on April 6th.
Okay.
And he's known nationally as a package designer. He was the chief designer for Fresh Market Stores.
Okay.
for quite a few years. Him and his wife, he and his wife. So he can be helpful.
Okay, yeah, I looked at his website and saw a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I really like him. He's got a couple young kids and just a really sweet guy, which is, I don't normally say that about guys, but he is a sweet guy. So I like people like him. I always wonder how the hell they make it, being nice. It seems like you have to be nasty or something sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm jaded. That's not always true, but once in a while seems to be the case.
That life on the beach has got you jaded there.
Yeah, man. It's a little windy. My kite keeps really taking off, and I have to run to catch up with it. Supposed to be laid back, and it's like work. Yeah. How you doing today, Zach?
Doing well. It's beautiful up here in Asheville. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Same here. It's I don't know what, I bet you it's 72 out there, sunny. Really, really nice. I should probably change my picture to something better. Let me see if I got something around here. I don't know. I don't want to bother. I'll probably end up hanging up everybody or something. So I'll just let it sit the way it is. But I use different devices, and everyone has a different background. I've learned I think there is a way to make it so that they all use the same one, but I never know what's going to come up when I turn it on. It could be, at least it's not, naked me getting dressed or something. So I think that's a plus. We can all be thankful for that. So, okay, well, we'll probably have people dropping in. I'll start us off. Today is kind of a hodgepodge, I guess. I'm going to cover texting as a tool for customer service, and also how to use email. Talk a little bit about that, and just have some short videos to look at, and then we'll talk about that. What I wanted to start with, though, is in talking to the barn to door people, they gave me the name of a person who is a North Carolina farmer who uses them. And it's a pretty nice story. It's a short little thing. And so I'm going to start with that. And her name is Jessica Evans, and I believe she's near Statesville. So we'll watch a little bit about that. See how long it's about 10 minutes long. So we'll see if that's useful. And so let me share screen. Okay, there we go. And okay, so we'll start with her.
Farm. That's the beginning of our story. Part of our vision for I'm Jessica with Evans Family Farm. We are a pasture-based farm in Mount Ella, North Carolina. A little bit about us. We're one of those kind of out of nowhere stories where we didn't have a background in farming at all. I was a former public school teacher. My husband's a contractor. But I grew up definitely with a true understanding and value in food, and food being kind of your first frontier for health and medicine and wellness. So we always did a little bit of raising our own food in Southern California, where we're from originally. I had a big backyard garden. We did a little backyard homestead with some dairy goats and some egg-laying hens, which are always the gateway drug to the rest of your farming, right? It's just a few more chickens. And we just grew a passion for it, and grew a passion for the ecology of it, for the benefit of it for ourselves and our community. And ended up just kind of selling out of California and moving to North Carolina and starting a farm. That's the beginning of our story. Part of our vision for that farm, again, is always with the kind of let thy food be thy medicine, providing that for our community also. So what we feed our animals, how we raise our animals, how we manage them is really important to us and important to our customer base also. So we wanted to be able to bring that healthy food to our community and educate our community as to why it's different than what you find, on a grocery store shelf. So we focus on the pastured proteins, we do poultry, pork, lamb, beef, and eggs. On the poultry side, we do both broiler chickens, your meat chickens, and we do turkeys just for Thanksgiving. And we market those everything
Right.
direct to our customer base. We do wholesale just a tiny bit. We did start off also selling wholes and half shares of animals. But as we've been able to kind of pivot and grow over the last 4 years, we really cut out the things that we know are not where we want to go long term. So we've kind of cut a lot of our wholesale out for our meat. We just wholesale eggs to a few cafes locally, but everything else goes direct to our customer base. And in that direct market, we knew we had to kind of build an online presence. We started with building our social media, following and just posting kind of about our life. The picture that's up here, I love. It's my youngest daughter and I, and I've used it in twofold in a couple of ways. Every customer, I have so many customers and people online that love this picture. They love seeing, the family farmness of it. I've also used it in speaking to fellow farmers because it's all about finding that content that connects with your customer. And your customers are not going to be fellow farmers. So from the farmer's perspective, I look at this picture and I laugh because I totally should have just driven feed out or had enough feed in the field. This is just a picture of me forgetting what I needed when I went out there the first time and wasting my time by hauling a bag of feed. But it says the things that we find mundane, I guess, and the everyday things that we do. Our customers, they're kind of voyeuristic and they want to see what's a day in the life of farming. They want to hear about the good and the bad, not necessarily the ugly, because we're selling them a food product. We leave a little bit to be unknown, and that's okay. But they want that personal connection to their farm and to their food, and that's why they're searching you out versus going to the grocery store. As we started selling directly, we started with your typical Saturday farmers market, and that was kind of the only way to get our name out there. We still do a Saturday farmers market because I feel like we're still building our brand and building our customer base. But we saw probably by year 2 that the build in online shopping, especially when it came to online food shopping, was definitely coming. That wave was coming, and we live in this Amazon Prime world. They want a quick checkout, a clean platform. They want a nice customer service experience, and they want to get their food relatively quickly. So we started after we'd already had our website rolling. We knew we needed an online sales platform, and I knew that was way over my head. So we needed to find kind of somebody to host that for us, to set it up for us so that we could start the online sales piece. And that has grown just exponentially over the last couple of years, how much customers are coming online to do their shopping. And then hit, the COVID-19 fun. And that if we had not had that already in place, it definitely would have been a huge need. We saw such a huge upswing in our customers ordering online. So this the beginning of this year, so that would be year 2 of our online sales. We started doing home delivery. We definitely saw that convenience was key. That was our easiest and most economical way to offer that kind of Amazon Prime experience, was to drop a package directly to customer's house. Because 99% of our customers are within a driving distance that we drive to already. So we picked a zip code radius that was kind of in the wholesale route. We were already driving for some of our restaurants that take eggs. And we started with those and really haven't had to add much already. So that just exploded. This is a picture of me, probably one of my busiest delivery days. So I still drive our delivery route. Maybe one day I will have this super nice refrigerated truck and a professional driver. But for now, I just take all the seats out of my minivan and just make it work with what I have. And it's worked for now because I'm short, so I can't get in and out of a pickup bed all day long. So the minivan works for me. And coolers in there, ice packs if it's super hot. But the way we package things helps make everything convenient and make it smooth also. At the same time, we also started what we call our meat box program, which is basically a meat CSA or a copy of the whole butcher box idea. Customers sign up for a monthly or a biweekly small or large box. That's just a variety of meats that we have on hand. So I try and always make it a good variety. I'm not going to fill it with like organ meat and hamburger because then I wouldn't have any customers. So I want to make it a good value. I want to feel like they're getting, they're getting this nice experience. And if I put something a little bit, I say air quotes, weird in there, if I give them like a beef shank, for example, I'll email a recipe showing them how to cook it. And I've never had pushback on anything too weird. I don't put any weird super weird stuff in there. But I was a little unsure how it would take off because customers weren't picking their stuff out. But I know the veggie CSA model works. So surprisingly, customers have liked the lack of choice. It seems a little counterintuitive, but they like the streamlinedness of not having to pick it out, and it just shows up on their doorstep. And then they're like, oh, I'll figure out what to cook based on what I have, which has been really neat. And even with a convenience standpoint for where to pick up their box or how to get their box, we tried at first offering like 6 different locations, which was a headache for us to keep organized. And we'd have one customer in one city and one customer in the other, and it was just too much. And when we pared it down and took away, I guess, the overwhelmingness that was the choices, I thought I was offering more convenience by giving lots of options, and they needed less to be overwhelmed with. So now we have 2 places they can pick up. One is on farm, one is at our Saturday farmers market. And then they can order home delivery if they want it delivered direct to their door. And there's been no pushback about paring some of those down because we're not too far. Either one of those are really not out of people's reach to get to. And with our product, we definitely want to offer a premium product and that premium feel of the product also. So clean packaging, clear labels, no broken seals, no scribbles or wet labels. We're selling a premium product for, I say, a premium price. I'm not gouging people, but I need to make a living. And what we do is labor intensive, as y'all know, I'm sure. And I'm never apologetic about needing to make a living. So if a customer wants a Walmart chicken, they're just going to go to Walmart. They're not really going to haggle with me. And if they do, they're just not my customer, and that's okay too. And so providing that premium experience of quick customer service, so quickly returning emails or comments on your social media too. You got to figure out how to check those inboxes so those don't get lost. They want that quick response to questions that they have. And giving that personal feel. So even with an online platform, they're not getting maybe that face-to-face experience where they get to know you, but providing that personal feel with little handwritten notes. So a first-time customer will always put a little like handwritten thank you note with their first name in it so they know it's not just pre-printed. Hey, thanks for your order. I hope you enjoy everything, and just stick it in the box. It takes me, 10 seconds to write that out real quick. And packaging, like the insulated totes in this picture, are what we do our home deliveries in. And then we just ask customers to leave them out on their doorstep for their next delivery. So it creates also that like, hey, you want to order again because you're going to leave this bag out for me. And also kind of the ecological standpoint of not using up too much packaging while still helping customers kind of keep it at like a what they would feel a safe temperature. Everybody's home now anyway, so they know right when I deliver it, they get a text message that their box is outside or their bag is outside waiting for them. And that's all part of the branding too, building that brand and building that personal experience for the customer. They're going to talk about you with their friends, which that word of mouth marketing is better than anything else we could pay for anywhere else. Just keeping those relationships built over time. And again, providing products that people want. So our bacon is definitely a premium product. You can't find clean bacon anywhere else. And customers like, even just from the social media side, they want to see just fun pictures of you doing what you do. So taking a selfie in front of a cooler of bacon seems really silly when you're doing it. But it's part, again, building that customer experience. People get excited. Oh, this product's coming. Sometimes I won't even leave a lot of words underneath the post. And building that kind of FOMO, fear of missing out if they don't get their bacon quick. But again, it's a premium product and we sell it for a premium price and provide that premium customer experience. And that's a lot of what our customer wants. They want to get to know you. And if they're not doing that in a face-to-face fashion, they're going to do that through following your social media feed or through those personal touches that you leave with their orders or how you respond to their email questions, even when they're silly questions. And they want that, again, they want that personal connection to their food is why they're shopping, directly with a farm rather than with a grocery store. And being able to pivot has been essential, I guess, in our success of this direct to market online experience. Being able to shift with what the tide's bringing. So we thought about shipping was going to be our platform because I didn't really want to drive around all day. But most of our customers are local, so they're not going to pay to ship, but they still want that online convenience. So even though maybe wasn't my first choice, it's definitely helped us grow, helped us build our business over time, and will help pay for that, future reefer truck with the professional driver in it that I don't have to drive around. But for now, I make it work. I got to bootstrap the minivan and the coolers and, my pack list, and I'm set to go. Well, thanks for joining us on Direct 2020. I hope this information was helpful on adding convenience to your sales platform. Feel free to follow us on Instagram, Evans Family Farm NC, or Facebook, same handle, Evans Family Farm NC. You can also find my contact information or reach out with any questions about how or why we're doing the things that we're doing that are working for us. Thanks.
Okay. So, couple of things that I wanted to point out. Number one, she is available to reach out to talk to. So that's a good thing. But she basically just put coolers in her van and started delivering fairly nearby. Now, I think their farm is near Statesville, North Carolina, I believe. Don't know that area that well. It could be between Statesville and Charlotte. I'm not sure. But she was able to figure out how to get the product directly to the consumer. And she mentioned 2 drop-off points, her farm and a farmer's market, a regularly scheduled farmer's market. But what she's talking about here, we've been talking about in the class, and that is she works hard to communicate her family's story to her customers, her potential customers. She talks about that throughout that video, and I will provide the link to this. But she talks about, goofy pictures of bacon and, all that kind of stuff that people like, even though it seems ridiculous. And as you build your brand, particularly you farmers, this is a really good model because I think they did it very bare bones, or are doing it bare bones. They are using barn to door, and they are delivering to homes in a way that doesn't seem impossible to me. Easy for me to say I don't have to do it, but I did want to point that out. Any thoughts or questions on her at this point? Okay. All right. So next thing I'm going to do, we're going to talk about. We have a relationship with a company called Textline, which is a company that builds a text-based customer service app. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of that and get a sense of how that looks and the benefit of that. So let's give that a shot. And I have to share my screen again.
Welcome to Textline's product demo. Whether you need to communicate for sales, support, or logistics, Textline can help you connect with your customer.
Okay, so this is really short. It's only 3 minutes. Let's give it a go. Hopefully everybody can see it.
Welcome to Textline's product demo. Whether you need to communicate for sales, support, or logistics, Textline can help you connect with your customers or your internal teams through text message. You can access Textline through a computer, smartphone, or tablet. Today we'll be showing you how Textline works on our web-based app. Let's see it in action. Your business uses Textline to handle incoming support requests and provide customers with order updates. For a new incoming text, an available agent can click Claim. If you're responding with a commonly used message, you can use a shortcut for a quick and consistent response. In the message bar, you can add emojis, links, and attachments to your responses. If you need to communicate with your team, you can add a whisper on any conversation. You can do this by clicking the whisper button and the message bar will turn yellow. And if agents need some assistance, they can always click transfer and select an agent to continue the conversation. Once a conversation is complete, the agent can resolve the conversation. If the customer texts back in, the conversation will open again. To start a conversation, an agent can click on the new message button and then enter an existing contact's name or phone number to compose the message and send. Textline makes it easy to update your contact's information. By clicking More Actions, you can access a contact sidebar and edit specific information. On the topic of contacts, you can import your entire address book to Textline and easily keep information updated. Simply click on the address book and import a CSV file. If you would like to send a message to all your contacts or contacts listed in a CSV file, a scalable solution is sending announcements. This will allow you to compose one message with custom variables to personalize a message, and it will be received by a mass number of contacts. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us by texting us at 415-849-4349 or emailing support@textline.com. This should be everything you need to know to successfully start using Textline. Now, get texting.
Okay, I'll just take a second here. This is a service that basically lends itself really well to dealing with people who are accessing your websites by mobile devices. You can expect maybe as much as 70% of your traffic could be coming from a mobile device, and the ability for them to text, depending on really the age of your market. I don't mean to be whatever the right word is, pushing a stereotype, but generally speaking, the younger the audience, the less they like email and the more they're comfortable with text. And so this idea of having Textline or something like it as a way of doing customer service actually will save you a lot of money. It's a really, really cheap cost. I want to say like a penny a text or something, or less than that. It's not a big deal. But it does enable you to really get your message through. Whereas an email, at ECU, I've dealt with students, regular undergraduate students over the years, and they will not answer their email. They just don't do it. It doesn't matter what you say, they're not going to answer it. And you send them a text and they're right back at you. So it's like anything else, you have to use the channel that the customer wants to use. And I can tell you that text is a big part of your operation, whether you know it or not at this point. And your ability to do that is going to set you apart and hopefully attract you more customers. We do have some kind of deal with Textline. I can't remember, some kind of discount. They have a person, I think he's in Wilson or Rocky Mount, who we can connect you with, and you can get all the ins and outs and probably a free trial and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to at least introduce you to it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is email. And really what I'm going to do, because there's really kind of a lot on that subject, and you've heard of MailChimp, some of you may use it, you may be familiar with the different email solutions that are out there. We use one called Flowdesk, and I wanted to just share that with you all. It's far less expensive than any of the other ones. It has most of the same capabilities in my experience. You've gotten some emails from us. If they look real pretty with logos and stuff, that's Brady sending it on Flowdesk. So we try to do that. It really high response rate. The other thing that's really interesting with Flowdesk is it will tell you how your people read the message, whether they watched it on mobile or desk. And so when I sent out the email to you all telling you that you've been accepted for this class, 80% of you accessed that email by mobile, not by desk. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So we're going to look a short thing about Flowdesk that compares it to some of the others that you may be familiar with, and then we'll talk about it after that. Sorry.
There are so many email providers, and it can be super difficult to figure out which one to go with.
It's even more difficult if you're in the beginning of jumping into email marketing. So I'm going to give you some touch points on why my top 3 favorites are my top faves. So I first want to mention that the larger your email list grows, the higher price you pay. I actually nearly broke the $200 per month mark using ConvertKit before I made the switch. For that reason, I'm super excited to dive into Flowdesk with you guys. And at the time that I'm recording this platform's still in beta, so they have yet to roll out a lot of features that I know that they're working on and will eventually get to, but I'm going to show you the goodness that they already have, which is a lot. So what I will say right off the bat is that I have 20,000 email subscribers and I pay $19 a month. I'm going to repeat that. 20,000 subscribers for $19 a month. No, it's not a trial price. So let me break down Flowdesk's pricing real quick. So it is $38 a month unless you use an affiliate code, which makes it $19 a month. So if a handful of you use the link that I am shamelessly sharing right now, yeah, I will make a commission off of it, but you will get Flowdesk free for a month, and then there's no commitment, but if you continue, it will be $19 a month forever. So that's exactly what I did. And it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. I used someone's affiliate code and now I have $19 a month forever. How do they do this? I don't know, but take my money because you're giving me so much money back. Like at my current subscriber rate, that's saving me from like literally $2,000 a year. So let's jump into the overview so that we can see what this looks like on the back end.
So your business isn't on Wix yet? Forget whatever video you're about to watch. Head over to Wix e-commerce and
into Flowdesk. If you have an existing account, this is what it's going to look like. You are going to see all of your emails. You have the option to toggle over to what's scheduled, what you've sent, your drafts, and then you can archive anything and then they'll be in your archives so they won't clutter up anything else. Now, let's say you don't have this set up yet. How are you going to create new emails? So you can just create new, and that is going to look like this. You have the option to, so it has a template library. You can scroll through and see what they've got here, but the awesome part about Flowdesk is that they have a what's your goal. So it's like you might want to up your email game, you might have some news to share, you might be welcoming a new subscriber, you might be selling something, you can start from scratch. So let's just look at make money. So here's where you could like say, you know, here's a sale, and then you can just look, and obviously you can use these templates for something else. They don't have to be for sales or they don't have to be for Inspire, but it gives you the option to make things as easy as possible. You'll also find these types, the elements in these templates in the editor themselves, so you don't have to worry so much about making sure that you have it right from the get-go. You'll also find this beautiful lettering font that is a little more playful and a little more, you know, organic looking because it's handwritten, and that has probably been showing up in your email if you follow anybody that is in the creative world, because a lot of us have moved over to Flowdesk. So I want to show you what one of these templates is going to look like. So I'm going to say, hi there, friend. We'll just go to this one. So you can view details before you choose to use it, and then you can scroll down and see what that's going to look like on a desktop or on a mobile device. So it is mobile friendly as well. So let's say customize. So here is where you can make everything customizable to you. So you'll see that my logo, and you'll be able to create the settings in Flowdesk, but your logo will show up here. You can click it and then you can delete it if you don't want it there. I personally delete them all. I think that they clutter up my emails and I want my emails to be a little bit more personalized. You can change the font, you can change these dividers. So basically what I did is I took a template here. It automatically has your Instagram feed in here. You can change, you know, your basically anything. Buttons, everything's customizable over here. You can change the style, you can change fill color, text color, etc. Add images. But what I really want to show you is when you press the plus symbol, if anywhere that you click in sections, you press the plus symbol and it gives you all of these options. The layouts that I told you about are basically those predetermined templates, similar to the one that's right above this section, is where I could put 2 pictures in side by side. So layouts, if I click that, then you'll see it pops up, but on the right hand side I have all of these options where I can insert whatever I want. So let's say I love this one and let's go with it. You can change this font. If I click this plus button again, you'll see I could insert my logo, an image, your Instagram feed, just basic text, you know, buttons, social links, your footer, it's everything like that. The other thing that I like is in the very bottom footer, you're required to have an unsubscribe. So when I click on unsubscribe, I can go to message right here, and it's great because they have all of these options to change your unsubscribe. So chill is like unsubscribe here, no hard feelings, whereas direct is don't want these emails anymore, unsubscribe. You know, so basically you can go through and see what it is that you want to do, and it fits your personality or your brand a little bit more. And then you can also change like the padding. It's very, very customizable is what I'm trying to say. So next, let's say I love this email. I can say from name. I can change each one individually, or I can just keep it as is because it will autofill that for you. Your subject line you can change. You can add emojis to it. Preview text, so that's basically like what your subject line is there, and then you have preview text that you usually see in emails. And then choose recipients. You can create segments in Flowdesk. So you can do this with any email provider, but their segments, like I have some where I have like all subscribers, which you never want to do because I mean, you can, but like if somebody unsubscribes from a certain segment, let's say this was all about Procreate and not everybody cares about Procreate. I have a Procreate list right here, and it has 18,000 of my subscribers on it, so it doesn't have all of them. But I can include that so that it only goes to those people, add segment, and then I can see that I've selected that right there. Now I can also add another segment, let's say it's online courses or something like that. I can plug that in here as well. It's not going to send, like let's say someone is on Procreate and online classes, it's not going to send them this email twice. It's just making sure that everybody in one of these segments gets this email. And then you say continue, and you can say now, in an hour, in a day, or customize when it's sent. And the other part about this is like, let's say I want to send it next Wednesday. The time, you can say best time for morning or best time for evening, and then it just automatically puts it in there for you to make things nice and easy. Now, if I want to, so then I would say schedule, but let's say I got out of there, it auto saves. So it's right here ready for me to return to it when I'm ready to. The other part that I do is you can see that all of these emails look the same. And I've also stretched my padding because I want the text to reach even further, because I have found that something that's more text and less image heavy has been proving that it just has, I'm going to show you this one real quick too. It just reaches people better. So for example, this one, I have text, but then I have some of those templates in here, but it's not really taking away to what I'm saying. So that's how I use the templates in Flowdesk. So they're still beautiful. I also have a couple that have that pretty handwritten text at the top if I can find any. Okay, so here's one that just says good news down here. And that's where I can insert something like that, have some fun flair, but still keep it direct. And of course you can set these up however you want to. I just feel like this looks a little more like a marketing situation, whereas this looks a little more personal. So that said, you'll see that these say this week's freebie. And to make this as easy as possible, because you'll have to format all of your emails every time, instead of doing that, I just duplicate. So I click these 3 dots and say duplicate, and then it will save. It'll come up with exactly what footer I want. It'll come up with my saved text, and I don't have to really worry about customization there. So when it comes to forms, you can have forms that are embedded into sites. So I have these on my web page, or you can have standalone pages. So like this link right here is, I think it's just like a pin or something that brings people to this page. But if I look at it, I don't know, I'll just zoom in. If I look at it, so people will land on a page that just looks like this. It's its own website. It has its own special link. Oh no, this is the affiliate partner program. Either way. And that's where I can have, you know, opt-ins from a web page. The other ones are embed codes, like you'll find this on my website. This is the one that I just shared. Get bigger. I'm using an Apple mouse, so sometimes it doesn't like me. Okay, so like that, and that's something I can just embed in a page already. It's not a standalone page. So they have that option when you say create new. It'll be either
inline, which is the embedded code, the full page, or a pop-up. I'm not a big fan of pop-ups. I just don't like that.
Okay, I think everyone gets a sense of how that tool works and the program works. The big point, I think, is if you look at MailChimp and some of the other programs, they charge based on the size of your list. So if you have a large list, like in this example, this woman had 20,000 emails, her cost for MailChimp would probably be in excess of $200 a month compared to $19 a month for Flowdesk. So that's the major advantage I see with Flowdesk. I think they have some pretty interesting designs and graphics and stuff, and all of that stuff that she was showing, the pictures, all that kind of stuff, you can swap out and put your own pictures, everything can be custom for you. And it's really not that hard to do. It doesn't require any programming. It's all kind of point and click. But I did want to make you aware of that program for those of you who are giving some thought to email. And even though some populations don't respond really well, there are plenty of people who do, who like email, who prefer it. So you have to have it. You have to have both text and email, I think. But it's something to keep in mind. The Flowdesk and Textline, we have links to them, I think, on our member resources page on accelerateworld.org. And if anybody needs anything additional, please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, so that's my agenda for today. I did want to encourage everybody to look at the Simon Sinek video that we've been talking about. The link is, if it's not out there, I'll make sure it gets posted again. Our guest speaker tomorrow, Tom Newell, you'll really like him. He's a very interesting guy, very interesting perspective, I think. And he just asked that everybody be familiar with that video before his talk, because he's going to use a lot of elements from that in his talk. That's about all I have for today. Does anybody else have stuff they want to talk about, or questions or thoughts? Okay.
So since I missed the last couple of weeks of stuff being on the road, and I did not get to see the last of the Barn to Door, I sent you the link to my Barn to Door. I don't know how many other people may have had a site, but
You're the only one, Patrick.
MailChimp actually comes as, depending on the program you pay for through Barn to Door, which level tier you get in.
Right.
You get MailChimp, and there's a couple other advertising things that they have that come with that subscription. So
cool.
I don't know if you got a chance to look at my site. I haven't updated it in a little while, and I got to get it caught up, but for the most part, it's fairly accurate. And they do allow you to use, if you looked at it, you can see that you don't have to use images all the time, which I thought was a bonus, that I didn't have to have an image for every single thing I had at the time.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance.
Did you set it up yourself?
No, the way it works is when you call and you get a representative that's going to be your liaison. After you get past the liaison, you have an account manager. So the liaison sets you up with a website development team, a storefront development team, and it seems like there's one other thing that they do at the very beginning. So within the first 30 days, you're in under a development umbrella. You send them your information, what you want to sell, images you have, your logo, about your business, about your farm, whatever the case may be that you have. You send it to that development team. They come back and say, okay, this is what we come up with. What do you want to change? Do you like this? Do you want to do something different? once they get it to your liking, then they run it live. And once it goes live, you move from that setup crew to, or that development team, over to an account manager. And that account manager goes through how to make changes, what you need to do to update, shows you how to edit your web page if you want to change your web page. That person, I say she because I have a female that does it, but that person is your account manager and is there to ask her questions, or if you have problems, they correct the problems or help you fix them. I have a meeting with my representative once a month, and I've had my site now for it's over a year, but I don't think I'm at 2 years yet. So.
Oh, that's great, Patrick. So we're going to have kind of a special protocol with them. I mentioned that we were working on a relationship with them that will not only give you the things that Patrick just talked about, but also a lower price. So we're going to see how that goes. But
I wonder if they'll discount me.
Yeah, we'll add you to our group, Patrick. Might help you. But I think that my experience with them, I went through the process with White's Farm last semester, and it was awesome. And they even did customer service for when the White's Farm people were not actively at work. They did handle off hours customer service by email and text. So it's a pretty complete system. I know that some of you are looking for a little more help than you don't want to do all the stuff yourself. So we're in a position, I think, with Barn to Door, where you'll be able to get that at a very affordable rate. And I'm glad Patrick has had a good experience. Everyone I have talked to, I probably talked to about 20 different farmers around the country that use it. And everyone is very positive, which is very unusual. Normally you have someone who's going to, moan and complain, but haven't run into that person yet. So it's a real service for us, I think, to have access to, we are directly with the CEO and the COO, which happen to be husband and wife. So we have they'll pay a lot of attention to us and help us, as we look at this. So
one more thing to add about that, as far as satisfaction goes, I am extremely pleased with the way things are done. The biggest problem I have is not with Barn to Door. It's actually with my customers, which are mostly chefs, because I deal directly to restaurants. I'm actually considering a CSA possibly next year as my farm grows, but getting a chef that already sits down and orders from 5 different companies to add another one to his list when he's already dealing with me showing up on Thursdays with an assortment and he gets to pick, he don't want to go to another website. So that's my only complaint about it. And it's not Barn to Door, it's the people that I'm trying to get to use it.
Yeah. I think that where Barn to Door can help a lot of folks here is your direct to consumer. That's a different animal. And our orientation really is to help with direct to consumer, because you've been selling wholesale to restaurants and other, that probably is not going to change a lot how you do that. But the direct to consumer is where the skin knees and the skinned elbows come from. I think how do you do that best affordably or really profitably is more important than affordability. So thank you, Patrick, for that. I appreciate it. Anybody else have any comments or thoughts?
Yeah, I'll just jump in real quick and say that, over the last week, I've talked to Brady one-on-one. Last week we had Andy Galinsky, and I just had a Zoom with him earlier. He's connecting me with another guy. And the contacts that we have through this program are just, they're phenomenal. And, if you think that one of these folks who's either spoken or talked or given a presentation, if you think there's a little bit of value there, I just encourage you guys to reach out to Dennis, because they I thought I was going to get a little bit from Brady. I thought I was going to get a little bit from Andy, and I got way, way more information and value there than what I ever thought I would get. And it's been able to answer some questions I've been really struggling with. And, these guys they have a lot of experience and just a lot of knowledge that you guys can tap into. So I just strongly encourage you to do that if you haven't yet. It's gold. And I really appreciate, Dennis, all you're doing to pull all these folks together, because it's really great.
Well, I'm glad. Our objective here is to build this community and to be here for you for the long run. You're going to be able to access this long after this class is over. These folks that the mentors, like I mentioned, they are all friends of mine for the most part that I've worked with in a number of different ways over the years. They still talk to me, so I must have not pissed them off too bad. But they're a lot of them are at a stage of life where they want to help, and they've made their money. They're not particularly motivated by money at this point. Not all of them. Some are money grubbers, but in general, they really want to help. And what has appealed to this group, I think, is the fact that we are oriented to rural companies and rural communities. They have not been exposed to this. They all come from kind of big time corporate backgrounds. So one of the reasons they got involved with this is because it's so different than anything they've ever done. In some cases, they didn't even know about this stuff. So access to them, they're more than willing to help. And if you're a pain in the ass and they don't like it, they'll tell you. It's
right.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but you may not get along with somebody, and that's all right. It's why we have 35 of them. We're going to add hopefully another 30 or 40 as we go along here. Part of my plan is to figure out, what is the mix of companies that sign up for this, so that I can figure out what kind of advisors make the most sense, right? If everybody on here was a tech company, it's a very different mentor pool than a group of farmers, for example. So I'm kind of scrambling to figure out really what's best, or what are you looking for. So if you have requests or ideas, or boy, you like to talk to someone in particular, even in state legislature or the government or whatever, I can pretty much get to anybody in terms of reaching out to them, and just let me know and I'll do what I can. So, but thank you, Tom, for your kind words. I may ask you to write something like that down at some point as we go for our next grant.
Sure. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay. Thanks. Anybody else got anything they want to bring up or talk about? Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it for today. Tomorrow is Tom Newell. Just one of my best friends. I've known him since I was 20 years old. He's my lawyer for 10 years before he became rich and famous, like I said. Just a wonderful guy, really, really interesting guy. And he also really wants to help the rural areas. That's what's motivating him. We're bringing him down from Mount Olympus, trust me. So, try to listen to what he has to say and reach out to him. One of the things that is really funny, last time when we did this, out of the class, 2 of the people immediately sent him a LinkedIn friend request, and he loved that. He just thought that was so cool that people were connecting. So he's open to that connection on LinkedIn or through this program or whatever makes sense. But I encourage you to be part of that. That'll be tomorrow. And we got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. We're going to start to really hit some areas that will really benefit you, and some more resources. I have a really great packaging guy that I've worked with for years. It's one of the top guys in the country for consumer packaging. We have the Duke Venture Law Clinic, which is a free service for entrepreneurs, a legal service at Duke. The guy who runs it is a ECU alum and participates with us, even though he's part of Duke. It's kind of cool. So we have a lot of really cool stuff coming up the rest of the program. So hopefully everybody is enjoying it and getting things of value. And if not, let me know. All right. Well, I'm going to go surfing now, so I'll see you all later. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks.